Heavyweights see a pullback, dragging indices lower even as mid-caps continue to notch gains. Energy, metals and utilities are big gainers even as IT drags. Reliance Industries bounces back with strong growth in retail, a resilient show in O2C business and an improving performance at Jio with ARPU topping 200 rupees and services seeing a good pickup. The stock gains. Infosys beats Q3 estimates and ups its revenue guidance, but concerns over the impact of wage hike in the coming 2 quarters and tapering pass of a pass-through business hurts the stock. Axis Bank sees all-round deterioration across parameters with slowing business momentum, dipping low-cost deposits, rising slippages and crimping margins. The stock slides. Bharat Mobility Global Expo 2025 kicks off in New Delhi, where the big car makers are expected to unveil their next-gen EVs. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says that by 2030, the number of electric vehicles on Indian roads will grow 8 times. Hello, good afternoon. You've tuned into CNBC-TV18. You're watching Business Lunch with me, Vinny Motiwala. And Nifty, look at that, because yes, recovered from the day's lowest point, but it's trading in the red as of now also, the markets. So yes, recovered from the day's lowest point, down 0.3%. 23,200 is what the Nifty is managing to hold on to. At one point of time, it was 23,110. That's the lowest level around that mark where we see the low coming in. So as of now, also Nifty is still down 85 points in trade. Now, what's supporting today? Reliance Industries, like we said, good set of numbers. So Reliance Industries is among the top contributors. We have L&T, ITC as well as Power Grid, which is managing to support the market. What's not doing well? Infosys, in terms of some concerns coming in terms of commentary on that side, the wage hike concerns, that is a factor that has impacted Infosys. Axis Bank numbers not that exciting, and with Axis Bank, other private banks also falling. So ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, all of these are among the top drags coming in for the Nifty 50. The Nifty Midcap and Smallcap, Nifty Midcap, it was flip-flopping between the red and the green, but is still managing to outperform the benchmark indices. Small cap also is managing to do better than the benchmark indices, though it is down 0.1% in trade. Like I was mentioning, IT stocks, they are under pressure today. Obviously, Infosys and LTIMindtree both are in focus on the back of their numbers, so keep an eye out on that one. And we have a whole host of IT companies that will be reporting their numbers today as well. So IT seems to be a bit more under pressure today. Another trend that we're spotting in the market today, and where we're seeing some bit of a green coming in, is from these shipbuilder stocks. So whether you look at a Garden Reach shipbuilder, Cochin Shipyard, those are managing to hold on to gains. Garden Reach Shipbuilder, 4% gain. Cochin Shipyard gaining almost 3 to 4% in trade as well. Another side that we're seeing gains coming in is defense stocks. So Bharat Dynamics and HAL also managing to hold on to good gains in trade. So yes, that's how the market setup is looking like as of now. Defense, Cochin Shipyard and all the shipyard stocks are doing quite well in trade. Let's move on and get started with the show then. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated the Bharat Mobility Expo 2025, and this is at the Bharat Mandap in New Delhi. The second edition of the event will see all the leading automotive and mobility players showcasing their latest innovation under one roof. Big players like Maruti Suzuki, TVS, Tata, Hero MotoCorp and Bajaj will also showcase their latest vehicles to the public. For more on the expo, we have Parishit, who's joining in with us.
Well, yes, the Bharat Mobility Expo has kicked off, and how? More than 100 launches over the next 2 days. You're going to see Chinese car maker BYD, which is the biggest seller in terms of electric vehicles, launching the Celion 7. You also have VinFast making its India debut here. A lot of electric vehicles being formally launched here. So the Maruti stable warming up right now for the launch of the e-Vitara. It's an unveil, not a price announcement right now. You've got Hyundai, which will be announcing the price of the electric Creta. You've got Mahindra EVs on display. Tata will be showcasing the future lineup of Sierra EV and also Harrier EV. But let me not do the talking. Let the vehicles, all these beautiful vehicles behind me, do the talking. We're at the Lexus booth right now, and this is a future Lexus concept vehicle which is being showcased. And we have with us Mr. Ikiuchi, the head of Lexus India, to speak about the future concept vehicles from Lexus. Sir, give us a sense of this concept, what it represents. When do you plan to bring it to market?
So actually, thank you for coming, first of all. So this is our revealing model at the 2023 at the Tokyo Mobility Auto Expo. And so this is for our
Let's keep focusing on the car. Yes, sir.
So this is our first time to reveal in India for the LFGC. So this is some kind of commitment toward the electrification toward India, because Lexus is for the multi-purpose way, not just for the BEV and also the HV and the hydrogen. So we are committed to all over electrification, and that is for our concept for the BEV model.
Right. Give us a sense of the strategy that Toyota and Lexus are together displaying. We see a lot of plug-in hybrids. There are hybrid vehicles as well. Not so many EVs. Why is that?
Actually, as those Lexus as well as the Toyota, we are doing a multi-purpose way. Our aim is only for the carbon. So we will offer the multiple solution for the customer who wants to buy this. So that's why we are offering for the multi-purpose. It's not just only for the HB or the BB. We are offering for customers' demand.
All right, you're trying to meet customer demand. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. I'll show our viewers what else is happening at the Auto Expo. My video journalist Akhilesh, if he can accompany me, I'm going to take you now to the Toyota stall here at the Auto Expo, and it always gets gets a lot of eyeballs because they've got some of the biggest SUVs over here. So you've got this concept vehicle called the X-Van. That they're showcasing here. Maybe in future they will bring it to market. You've got the Innova Hycross, of course, which is gaining popularity. Let me show you their plug-in hybrid and flex fuel lineup. They are quite big. Toyota globally is quite big on flex fuel vehicles, ethanol vehicles. So you've got the Hilux here, which is a flex fuel EV concept that they are showcasing. You've got an urban battery electric vehicle concept over there as well. So a lot of EVs, a lot of hybrids from Toyota, and a major electric vehicle launch from Maruti, which is going to happen in a few moments from now. And overall, a big EV push at the Auto Expo.
Parikshit, surely it's looking very exciting there. Thank you so much for giving us the latest update from there, and we'll expect more coming in soon as well. Thanks for that, Parikshit. But at the Expo, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has pitched electric vehicles as the vehicle of the future. Now, he said that the government is supporting the industry to adopt EVs and is open to more global investments in this sector. Let's listen in.
अनुमान है कि इस दशक के अंत तक भारत में इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स की संख्या 8 गुना तक बढ़ सकती है। ये दिखाता है कि इस सेगमेंट में आपके लिए कितनी ज्यादा संभावनाएं बढ़ रही है। अपने तीसरे टर्म में हम पीएम ई ड्राइव स्कीम लेकर आए हैं। इसके तहत 2 व्हीलर, 3 व्हीलर, ई एम्बुलेंस, ई ट्रक ऐसे करीब 28 लाख ईवीज खरीदने के लिए मदद दी जाएगी। करीब 14,000 इलेक्ट्रिक बसें भी खरीदी जाएगी। सरकार ईवी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए इंडस्ट्री को लगातार सपोर्ट कर रही है। ईवी कार मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में जो ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर भारत आना चाहते हैं, उसके लिए भी रास्ते बनाए गए हैं। भारत में क्वालिटी ईवी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इकोसिस्टम के विस्तार में, वैल्यू चेन के निर्माण में मदद मिलेगी।
And in a big move for telecom players, Telecom Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia has announced cabinet approval for reframing of 687 excess spectrum from multiple government ministries for 5G and 6G. On this latest update, we have Ashmit, who's joining in with us to give us more details on this one. Good afternoon, Ashmit. What are you picking up here?
Well, a significant development this as far as the telecom sector, the telecom players are concerned. Let me just give you some context. There was a high-powered committee of secretaries that had been formed that determined what would be the total spectrum capacity requirement by 2030. That figure that was reached, that was arrived at, was 2,000 megahertz. The reason that's significant is because currently the existing availability of spectrum is at 900 megahertz, thereby leaving a deficit of 1100 megahertz. It is to meet this pressing need. It is to furnish the 5G as well as the 6G aspirations that we find that the cabinet has taken a decision. The DoT had proposed refarming of excess spectrum that is lying with other government ministries that is sitting idle. Now, this was a proposal that was made, and this is the proposal that has been approved by the cabinet. Under the approved proposal, a total of 687 megahertz of spectrum will be refarmed, will be brought back to the DoT, which will essentially take the total available spectrum to 1,567 megahertz of spectrum. That's the kind of figure that the DoT will be looking at. This will be done in a phased manner. This will be done towards 2028. What's also important is that the minister assured that even the balance spectrum that would be remaining, that would be about 300 odd megahertz, that too will be provided for by further refarming exercises. So clearly a huge step forward in terms of spectrum availability, an important decision for the telecom sector being taken by the cabinet. Back to you.
Okay, Ashmit, thank you so much for that. And I beg your pardon, it's a refarming of 687 excess spectrums from multiple government ministries. But thanks so much for that latest update coming in there, Ashmit. But let's move on and, in fact, listen into the telecom minister's statements that came in on this front.
Yesterday in Cabinet, we approved the refarming of spectrum. According to IMT, by 2030, we need 2,000 megahertz of spectrum. Now, between 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G, we have roughly about 900 megahertz of spectrum. What does that mean? That means that we have a deficit of 1,100 megahertz of spectrum by 2030. Not today, but by 2030.
Let's move on and get you some latest updates that are coming in on Tata Group. Now, Tata Sons is still registered with the RBI as an upper layer NBFC, and this could mean that it will have a mandatory list by September this year. Ritu is joining with us with more details on this one. Ritu?
Well, no respite for Tata Sons just yet, with the Reserve Bank of India yet to decide on its application to deregister as an upper layer NBFC and remain a privately held company. Now, the RBI has retained Tata Sons, which is the principal holding company of the Tata Group, in its list of 15 upper layer NBFCs for FY25, but said it is without prejudice to the company's application to get itself deregistered. Now, RBI said Tata Sons' application is still under examination. Now, if RBI rejects this application, Tata Sons will have to go public later this year in order to comply with RBI directions. That is because RBI has made it mandatory for all upper layer NBFCs to get listed within 3 years of being identified. For Tata Sons, which was tagged as an upper layer NBFC in September of 2022, the deadline is September this year. Now, in a bid to stay a privately held company, Tata Sons has repaid more than 20,000 crores of debt and also voluntarily surrendered its certificate of registration with the Reserve Bank of India last year. Now, while RBI does look at various aspects, including the size of an entity, the interconnectedness, complexity, nature of liabilities, and group structure to decide whether or not an entity qualifies to be an upper layer NBFC and be subject to more stringent regulations, there aren't really any clear guidelines per se on how companies can get out of this classification, and that is why the Tata Sons case is going to be a test case and set a precedent for other such cases in future. Now, while the question of whether or not Tata Sons will have to get listed on exchanges is still open, keep in mind there is another Tata company that still features on this list of upper layer NBFCs, and that is Tata Capital, and therefore Tata Capital will still have to go public later this year to comply with RBI directions.
Okay, on that note, we're going to step into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. More news and updates on the other side. Welcome back to Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18. Nifty, as of now, is just managing to hold on to 23,200, just at that mark. Let's keep an eye out on where it's going to be headed in the second half of the trading session. But moving on to an exclusive, sources tell CNBC-TV18 that the government may be actively mulling income tax relief in the budget to boost consumption. Tim C is joining in with us to give us more details.
Well, that's right. What we are given to understand from sources is that the government currently is actively considering personal income tax breaks to spur consumption demand and to boost the economy. Government currently is studying two options on tax breaks, and any decision will look to make only the new tax regime more attractive, is what sources say. Now, some of the options that are there on the cards for a tax relief. Firstly, option 1, to increase the standard deduction limit from 75,000 rupees per annum, which is the current limit, anything up till 1 lakh rupees, and it could be in any proportion, either 75 to be made 80, 85, 90, 95, or even 1 lakh rupees per annum. That is something that is yet to be decided. Secondly, this particular option is to move the slabs in the new tax regime. Now, here government is considering two options. Firstly, to expand the 20% tax slab to cover income between 12 lakh and 18 lakh rupees, or even going beyond 18 lakh rupees till 20 lakh rupees. Remember, currently this slab is 12 lakh to 15 lakh rupees, where the tax rate is 20%. And then as a follow-up to this, since the 20% slab will move, follow-up will be the movement on the 30% slab as well, which is also an option, where it feels that then as a follow-up, 18 lakh rupees or 20 lakh rupees and above could be the income bracket for the higher tax rate, that is of 30%, which currently is at 15 lakh plus. So let's see what happens finally, because sources indicated that government believes tax breaks will mean more disposable income, it will boost the spending power, plus this increased spending power by the common man will help recovery in both direct taxes and GST collections. But just to remind our viewers that a final call on the tax break proposals will be taken up by both Finance Ministry and PMO only closer to the budget. It is taken only 1 or 2 days before the budget, and email queries sent to the North Block on this particular story have remained unanswered. So let's see what Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announces on the 1st of February. Back to you.
Thank you so much for that, Timsy. Now, moving on, President-elect Donald Trump's Treasury Secretary pick Scott Bessent attended his Senate confirmation and laid out his economic vision that he has for the country ahead of the new administration taking office. Listen in.
Of course, and I actually believe that the notion that President Trump believes he should have influence, there was, I believe, a highly inaccurate Wall Street Journal article saying that he believed something to the effect of he should be in the room. President Trump is going to make his views known, as many senators did. I think on monetary policy decisions, the FOMC should be independent. The Treasury Department plays a critical role in protecting American national security. We must secure supply chains that are vulnerable to strategic competitors, and we must carefully deploy sanctions as part of a whole-of-government approach to address our national security requirements. And critically, we must ensure that the U.S. dollar remains the world's reserve currency.
On that note, we're going to step into a very short break. After the break, we'll get you more updates coming in from West Asia, so stay tuned in. Welcome back to Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18. Let's move on and get you the latest update from West Asia. Now, despite the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas, Israel continued its assault on Gaza, killing at least 81 people within the last 24 hours. Israel's cabinet has also delayed a vote to come to a conclusion on the ceasefire deal and has scheduled another meeting today to approve the agreement. The vote was postponed due to a reported internal dispute between Hamas and the far-right members of the Israel Prime Minister's cabinet. Moving on to some news from the world of sports now. World-class champion Diego Cage was awarded with the prestigious Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna by President Draupadi Murmu today. The 18-year-old became the youngest world champion ever by beating China's Ding Liren last month. He is also only the second India after Vishwanathan Anand to achieve this feat. And with that, we're absolutely out of time on this edition of Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18. But as we wrap up, Coldplay excitement reaches its peak as Mumbai and Ahmedabad gear up for the band's concert that will take place this weekend and the next. And here's some good news for those who couldn't nab and managed to get the tickets. Coldplay's concert on 26th will be live streamed.